So here I am today, not to talk about what I have done, but it's more about how many times I have failed in my life.
Um, I am here today. I don't say about what I have done. But I talk about how many times I failed in my life,
And how much struggle I had in the past.
and how much struggle that I had in the past.
But before I start my story, I will just show you a book. People talk a lot about self-help books so far. I brought a book today, and about 4 weeks ago, my best friend gave me this book.
Uh, before again, before I begin, I want to show you a book. Talk about self-help. My best friend gave, gave me this book about 4 weeks ago.
The title is Your One Word. Sorry to advertise the book. Right here in the back of
It's a title, and the book's title it is Your One Words. And I apologize for advertise this book.
the book, the writer said and questions and challenge yourself. If you use one single word to describe your whole life, the meaning of your life, the target of your life, what would that word be?
And the writer says and questions in the pack in the book page. Such as challenge yourself, and if you use one single word to describe about your whole life, about the meaning, the target of your life, what word would be?
And he continues, I'm sure many of you here will not have the answer yet. Is it true? Yes.
He said that we will not have the answers about this. It is yes. Say yes.
But things have come, when I read that question about 4 weeks ago, 2 minutes later I say, oh, I found mine. It came so easy, it came so instantly.
I read the book, and after I read the book, and I found my after 2 minutes. I felt it came so easily and instantly.
And I started to prepare for my TED Talk today, and I looked at my whole life journey, 42 years of living on this earth.
And after that, I prepared for my TED Talk today about my whole life for 42 years.
Working as a teacher for nearly 20 years.
And I'm working as a teacher for nearly 20 years.
And I started to look at everything I have gone through. And so that's what I'm going to share with you. I have my keyword here, but I'm not going to show you until the end.
Uh, I will share with you. I will share with you uh, by my keyword here, but I'm not going to show you until the end.
Keep that as a secret.
And that is the secret.
And I want you to walk through stories in my life, and hopefully you find out why I came to realize the purpose of my life.
I want to you work through my story in my life, and you can find and you can find why I realized the purpose, the target of my life.
And I want to share with you that. So, story time, okay? I was born into a family of 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl, in a very remote area in Vietnam province.
I was born in a family with 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl, in a very remote areas in Vietnam province.
In the 1970s, life was just so huge struggle for many people. And just raising up 6 children in a family was a huge struggle for my parents.
And in 1970, life was huge struggle for many people, and 6 children in my family too. And we have to struggle for our life because of the difficult in 1970.
Plus, my father used to work for the US Navy before 1975. And so life in the 70s was a little bit insecure.
And my father used to work for the US before 1975, and life at that time is not secure, is not safe at the 70s.
At that time. And everybody in my village at that time, people stopped going to school. All of the kids would just stay at home and help with the farming.
Um, at that time in my village, every everyone here, everyone here stopped going to school because the life is what it was difficulties, and all of the kids in my village have their family, have to have their family and stay at home.
And so, being born into that family, the first thing I experienced was actually I had a very carefree life.
And being born in the family, and the first thing I feel is that I have a carefree life.
So much fun as a child in the field with the buffalo with our friends.
So much fun with a child in the field, that with a buffalo and with friends.
But it's also the first moment in my life I started to experience the feeling of shameful, the feeling of being discriminated because you are poor. And I started to see tears from my mom's eyes every time she could experience the feeling of being looked down, not for her, but for her children.
And at that time, I feel I feel the shame. I felt the shameful because of being discriminated because of poor, and at that time I saw the tears from my mom's, and that is not because for herself, but because of for her children.
And deep down, I started to realize what it means to try and to become successful.
And from that, I realized that I have to try and have to successful.
At that time. But my life at that time was so quiet until the age of 5. Something terrible happened to me.
So, and the life is and my life is stable in that time until I I was 5. I had I receive a terrible things.
My parents sent me to school.
My parents sent me to school.
I had long days just playing with my friends, and I enjoy more in the field rather than in the school.
I have on days to play with my friends, and I'm not good. I'm not go to school before, and I'm not going to school before.
But I could not understand in the middle of the village there, where everybody cared more about food and clothes.
And I cannot understand because the people in the middle of the village, they are just care food, about food or clothes.
My father was very committed to education.
And my father, he was very committed to education.
I cannot remember how many times he asked everybody in the family to sit down in the evening with the oil lamp in the middle.
And I cannot remember how much every time he sat down and he requires the members of the family sat down on the tables around, and there is an oil line in the middle.
In the 1970 and 1980.
In 1970 and 1980.
And he kept reminding us about what would happen if we decide to quit school. The first thing he would do is to get everybody out of the family if we ever thought about not going to school.
And he asked us if we decide to stop going to school, and what would happen, and we will be got we will be gotten everybody out here, and we didn't think we would go to school.
So
because we didn't think we would go to school.
he was very committed, and it's still a very secret to me now, like where the idea came from in his mind, when everybody else, even in my family, going against education.
And until now, I don't know why my father think that my family going against education.
So being in that situation and in that context, I learned the first lesson of being grateful to having such a caring and loving mom and a committed father in my life.
And from this, I learned the first lessons in my life that is graceful, and I felt I love mom and father.
But then, I know that I could not escape from education. I prefer, sometimes I feel jealous with other kids in my village because they have long days playing.
But at that time, I didn't like to go to school, and I usually escape from education to have jealous with other kids in my village because I have on days to play.
I sacrifice half of my day at school, not enjoying, to be honest. Sorry, teachers.
I sacrifice hundreds of a class day so that I could play with others kid.
And then I become a teacher, right?
And to be honest, sorry teacher. And now I can become a teacher. It's tricky.
Okay. But my life went on to secondary school and then high school very quiet. The only thing I could do is to stay focused.
And one of the highlight in my secondary and my high school, uh, I don't know what to do, but uh, I must I focus on my best.
I was very obedient at that time, just listening to my parents and my teachers all the time.
I think at that time I was obedient in the area of my father and my teacher, my parents and my teacher.
I tried to study hard. Strangely, the best score I got in high school was 6.72.
So at that time I tried so hard strongly, and the best score at that time is was 6.72.
I could never be a good student in high school, even I know that I have tried a lot. I was so bad in high school.
Uh, I don't think I don't consider I'm a intelligent person in high school, but that score is the best mark that I achieve.
But I did start to feel that I enjoy more school. And this is also the stage.
And began from this, I felt enjoy 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 studying at school more.
At school, I started to experience what people call failure. At the end of year 12, I took the university entrance exam. I failed.
And until the end of the 12 years, that is, I had two entrance exams on university, and at that time I failed.
First year. Interestingly, I didn't feel sad, not disappointed, but I began to see in the eyes of people who loved me and who wanted the best for my life.
And at that time, I'm not feel sad or interested, and I'm not disappointed about failing, but I realized the arts in the people who had expectation from me and who trusted me.
The look of disappointment and more expectation from me. So I felt sad for 2 days, packed my luggage, going back to Kangtao City, spending 1 year reviewing the lesson, taking the exam again the second year, and luckily I passed, becoming a student at university.
And after that 2 days, I took my luggage and and went to Kangho University, and I spent 1 year to review all of the lessons. And the second year, I was taking the exams, and finally, I passed the exams, and I became a student at university.
But I hit the wall again right on the first day I stepped into the university. I was among 255 students at university at that time, not understanding a word of English.
And at that time, I have fighting in my mind, and that is the first day I came into the university. I stand between 255 students, I don't I didn't understand one word of English.
And so, in the first month of the university, many times I have thought about quitting university, going back home. Life is easier as a farmer, right?
In the first year at the university, I have the feeling that I want to quit. I want to quit studying here, and I want to go back my hometown and to be a farmer.
But then I felt so lucky at that time to have one of my teachers at the university. He understood all of the psychological process the students at that time. He sat down patiently, explaining, encouraging, and supporting.
But that time, luckily, I met our teachers. I felt unlucky. I felt it's luckily when I met a teacher. He sat down. He sat down personally, encouraging, supporting, and explaining to me.
So we overcame the problem thanks to that teacher. That's the second person that I felt so grateful to in my life.
And we came over the difficulties, and I felt this is the second person that I am so grateful in my life.
And all I could do in my 4 years was to stay focused. I never considered myself to be an intelligent person, but I did work very hard through 4 years. No playing, no Facebook, no computer at that time, luckily.
And after that, I try my best, and I focus on the focus on my studying um more more and more. And that time is no Facebook, no computer, and no rewarding. I think it's luckily.
So after 4 years, rewards came. I graduated, top one in my class, out of 255 students.
And after the 4 years, actually, I realized the rewards. Actually, this is there is a reward came to my life. That's I graduate with top one out of 255 students.
It was the biggest achievement ever in my life
And this is the biggest achievement that I got.
at that time. After that, I was granted with a position at the university to become a lecturer. Wow, you can fly. Though I felt so happy, but I could see the happiness more in my parents' eyes, in the people who have trusted me.
And at that time, I think I can fly, and I feel the happiness in your in the ears of my family. That is the happiness because they more happiness than me.
Rather than for myself. So if you look around, you see a lot of successful people in life. My success at that time was nothing compared to others. But if I
And look around the successful people in my life, I think my success is cannot compare with them. My success cannot compare with them.
put into my position as somebody from a poor family, from a remote area, struggling through life to survive at the university, and achieving such success at the beginning in their life is so extraordinary, so significant to me.
Um, when I put my position that somebody from a poor family, a remote areas that struggling through the life, to society, and I feel that so it is significant. It is significant to me.
at that time. So my journey began here at this university in the past 19.5 years. I began working here in 2001 as a teacher, as a lecturer. The first 5 years for me was amazing. I really enjoyed working.
My journey began. My journey began here, university, 19.5 years, and I began working here in 2001, and I felt amazing. And and I felt amazing at the first year, and enjoying working.